It's time now for a look at what's happening around our town. Brought to you by Town Automotive Group.
It's 7 o'clock. Call Brown Chiari, injury attorneys ranked highest in ability and ethics.
It's Wednesday, June 22nd. Welcome to Capitol Tonight. I'm Nick Reisman. Susan Arbetter has the night off. President Joe Biden is asking Congress to put a pause on federal gas taxes as gas prices remain close to $5 a gallon here in New York. Gas prices have dipped slightly from an all-time high last week. New York's gas tax holiday remains in effect through the end of the year, eliminating 18 cents in taxes. A federal gas tax holiday would cut out an additional 18 cents per gallon, at least temporarily. President Biden says his goal is to ease the pain at the pump.
Now, I fully understand that a gas tax holiday alone is not going to fix the problem, but it will provide families some immediate relief, just a little bit of breathing room as we continue working to bring down prices for the long haul.
New York State is looking to go green, and time is winding down for you to weigh in on how the plan will affect the public. The public comment period for the state's Climate Action Council ends on July 1st, but some in Madison County are asking for more time for voters to review the 300-page climate plan. If enacted, it would make the state's climate change policies some of the toughest in the nation. Melissa Kroll spoke to one board legislator who says people need to understand the potential impact.
So I started out in engineering and ended up making forks, knives, and spoons, which is an interesting transition.
Matt Roberts is the president and co-founder of Sherrill Manufacturing, where they produce Liberty tabletop flatware. He's also on the Madison County Board of Supervisors, representing wards 1, 2, and 3 in the city of Oneida.
This is actually one of our better sellers.
Roberts says he's concerned that a push to go green could ultimately cost his business a lot of it. Specifically, this 300-plus page draft document detailing recommendations meant to significantly reduce New York's carbon emissions. It's been available on the state's Climate Action website for months. The panel is asking the public to weigh in on it. But the Madison County Board of Supervisors is calling on the Climate Council to extend the public comment period again from July to the end of this year.
We need to make sure that every one of our constituents is aware of this.
The report is thorough and detailed, stating the threats posed by an ever-warming planet and the consequences of doing nothing to stop it. One of the recommendations in the draft plan is transitioning away from fossil fuels to more sustainable sources of energy. The report also suggests mileage-based user fees with a per-mile fee system to discourage driving, recommends a real property tax incentive for forest landowners to take part in practices increasing carbon storage, and supports adopting codes for new residential and commercial buildings to be built to a highly efficient zero-emission standard.
As a business owner, what concerns me is the cost of energy.
Roberts believes some businesses can't afford to upgrade to cleaner methods and is afraid they'll shut down or move to another state.
Longer term, we use a lot of natural gas for heating. And changing that to electricity is going to be very expensive, and the electricity is going to be very expensive. So it will definitely increase the cost of running our business.
In a statement to Spectrum News, the State Department of Environmental Conservation said the Climate Action Council held 11 public hearings across the state in April and May, 9 in person and 2 virtual. The DEC also says the timeline for public comments balances the desire for robust public input while meeting the statutory deadline of releasing the final scoping plan that includes the council's consideration of those comments by the end of the year, unquote. A climate change plan of action that will affect all New Yorkers, whether they sound off or not. Melissa Kroll, Spectrum News.
The Democratic race for lieutenant governor continues to appear to be extremely competitive, with powerful Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez today rejecting incumbent Antonio Delgado and endorsing challenger Ana Maria Archila. Zach Fink has more on a campaign that reveals a true split within the party.
I appreciate it, Ana Maria Archila. Thank you.
¿Cómo está? Mucho gusto, Ana María.
With early voting already underway and the primary for statewide races just a few days away, Ana Maria Archila was out campaigning in spots across the city Wednesday.
Yeah, we need to raise it to $20 in New York City.
She was joined in Queens by her running mate for governor, public advocate Jumaane Williams. Archila also got a big boost to her campaign when Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's hugely popular with the progressive wing of the party, endorsed Archila over her former House colleague Antonio Delgado.
It's an affirmation of the vision that we have for the state, which is in a state as rich as New York, we should be able to help alleviate the pressures that people are facing, the lack of affordable housing, the need to raise the wage right now, the need to make sure that the richest New Yorkers are contributing their fair share. That's what AOC has been talking about from day one.
In contrast to Archila, who has been vigorously campaigning for the job of lieutenant governor, Delgado had no public campaign schedule Wednesday. Delgado got into the race just last month to run alongside Governor Hochul after Democrats changed state law so he could replace Brian Benjamin on the ballot. Benjamin resigned over a corruption scandal.
I don't understand how Antonio Delgado is campaigning. He's obviously trying to just tell his story on television ads instead of talking about the needs that people have and actually talking about the solutions that he's proposing.
Archila is also out with a new ad that takes a swipe at both Delgado and Hochul, who served in the role of lieutenant governor until just last year when she took over the job of governor after Andrew Cuomo resigned.
You probably don't know what a lieutenant governor does because they've never really done much except cut ribbons and stay quiet even when people are suffering.
And according to the State Board of Elections, just over 51,000 people voted in the first 3 days of early voting statewide, about half of them here in New York City. Those are not very good numbers, and it's indicative that this may be a very low turnout election. Archila is counting on the fact that her supporters are enthusiastic, which could make the difference if they turn out in these next few days and on primary day. In Queens, Zach Fink, Spectrum News.
Still to come, the president of the New York State United Teachers Union will be joining me in studio to talk about what's being done to ensure students and teachers feel safe in the classroom.